Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a fascinating concept. Stop carrying the past, a Zen guide to workplace stress.
We're going to use an ancient Zen parable, straight from our source material, to completely rethink how we handle the daily grind of our careers. Ask yourself, are you literally still replaying yesterday's meeting? You know the feeling, right? Maybe you're holding on to a harsh piece of feedback from a manager, or honestly, a mistake you made months ago. We drag around this incredibly heavy weight. But the crazy part? That weight only exists inside our own minds. The moment is gone, everyone else has moved on, the world kept turning, but we're just stuck, standing in the exact same spot.
And that perfectly captures the danger of workplace rumination, which comes down to this really profound insight. The things that hurt us the most are not the things that happen to us, but the things we keep thinking about long after they're over. Someone makes a sideways comment 3 weeks ago and we're still playing it on a loop. It just goes to show how dangerous it is when our minds get stuck like a broken record. And honestly, this sets up the perfect backdrop for our story today about two monks and a muddy river crossing.
Part 1. Two monks and a river.
So, picture this. We're in the lush, green hills of Japan, temple bells echoing through cedar forests. It's here we meet two very different monks who, believe it or not, perfectly represent two very distinct types of modern professionals. First up is Tanzan. He's calm, broad-shouldered, totally unhurried. He's kind of like that ideal, adaptable coworker we all want to be. He isn't famous for sweating every single tiny rule, but he deeply gets the spirit of the work. He just moves through the world feeling grounded. Then, on the flip side, we have Aikido. Younger, sharper, and incredibly careful. His robes are folded perfectly. Aikido is your strictly rule-bound employee. To him, rules aren't guidelines, they are sacred walls. And this rigid discipline creates a massive amount of internal pressure, because to him, control means never, ever bending.
Okay, so together they're walking for hours down this muddy country road right in the middle of a heavy rainstorm. Out of nowhere, they hit an unexpected hurdle. Think of it like a sudden workplace crisis. They reach a swollen, rushing river, and stranded at the edge is a young, beautiful woman. She's wearing a fine silk kimono, clutching it tight, just looking totally helpless. The current is vicious, and there is absolutely no way she can cross without ruining her clothes or getting swept away completely. So what does Aikido do? He looks at her and then immediately averts his eyes. Just walks straight past. Why? Well, because strict monastic rules expressly forbid monks from touching women. He completely ignores her imminent need in order to protect his flawless adherence to company policy, so to speak.
But Tanzan? His solution is completely different. No hesitation, no agonizing inner conflict. Without a single word, Tanzan just walks right up to the woman, gives a gentle smile, and says, "Come, I will carry you across." He literally lifts her up, wades right into the thick, freezing mud, carries her across to the other side, and sets her down safely on dry land. He gives her a little nod, and then just peacefully goes right back to walking, like it was absolutely nothing.
Which brings us to the real question. Who is actually carrying it?
If we track the timeline of rumination here, the contrast is wild. Aikido essentially freezes in shock. He literally cannot believe Tanzan just blatantly broke the rules. As they keep walking, Aikido spends an hour in total stony silence, then 2 hours, then 3. The rain stops, the sun comes out, but inside Aikido's head, total thunderstorm. His mind is churning, just like that muddy river. He is obsessively stewing in judgment over his colleague breaking this sacred corporate policy. He's analyzing it, condemning it, suffering over it, while Tanzan is just strolling right next to him in total peace. Finally, by sunset, they reach the lodging temple, and Aikido's internal stress just boils over. He can't hold it in for one more second. He bursts out, his voice super tight with all this pent-up frustration. "How could you do that? We are monks. We have taken vows. It is dangerous. It is forbidden." It is a massive emotional outburst over what he sees as a severe breach of professional conduct. And here is the absolute kicker. Tanzan's response. He stops, looks at Aikido with these kind, completely untroubled eyes, and drops this quiet, brilliant insight. He says, "Brother, I set the woman down at the river hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" Wow. Those words just hit Aikido like a ton of bricks. He realizes that while Tanzan's physical act lasted maybe 30 seconds, just a quick moment to help someone out, Aikido had been mentally carrying that woman and all his outrage all day long. Tanzan's hands were totally empty, but Aikido, he was locked in a prison of his own making.
Let's move to our 4 lessons for the office.
It's such an incredible realization, isn't it? Let's take the elements of this ancient story and map them directly onto the modern workplace, so we can figure out how to put down our own mental baggage and avoid becoming IQ.
our source material distills Tanzen's quiet wisdom into 4 highly actionable lessons: compassion, letting go, escaping judgment, and inner purity. These 4 principles can completely redefine how we handle daily office conflicts. Let's break them down.
Lesson 1 is choosing compassion over rigid bureaucracy. Notice how Tanzen didn't hide behind a rule book when another human being was genuinely helpless. Translating that to the workplace, it shows us that true professional maturity isn't just about perfectly checking boxes or strictly adhering to the letter of the law. Actually, it's about being adaptable enough to solve real problems when your colleagues or your clients actually need you. Doing the right, humane thing in a crisis matters way more than maintaining some inflexible corporate facade.
Up next, we have the art of letting go. Tanzen carried the woman for a few seconds, set her down, and literally never gave it a second thought. He didn't agonize over how it might look to upper management. When you act with good intentions and do your best work, there shouldn't be anything left to carry. We have got to learn to leave our resolved tasks exactly where they belong, at the office. Seriously, don't punish yourself for months over a mistake that happened in a split second.
Lesson 3 is about escaping the prison of judgment. Think about it. Aikido twisted a really simple act of kindness into this massive, catastrophic scandal inside his own head. Tanzen didn't judge, he didn't explain, he didn't get defensive. When we overanalyze a coworker's actions or hold on to our outrage, it entirely distorts reality. It locks you inside this highly stressful version of events that doesn't actually exist anywhere except in your brain. The actual argument with your coworker probably lasted 5 minutes, but if you're not careful, you'll let that anger ruin your mood for 5 years.
Finally, the 4th lesson focuses on inner purity. Aikido followed every single rule perfectly, right? Yet he was completely weighed down by this raging storm in his heart. Tanzen's robes might have been covered in mud, but his mind was crystal clear. And this is such a brilliant illustration. Real discipline isn't about projecting a flawless outward appearance. True discipline is actually having the mental flexibility to let go of what no longer serves you. It is entirely about the weight you choose to carry inside.
Which brings us to our final section, putting down your baggage. As we wrap up this explainer, we really need to get honest with ourselves about the professional burdens we're artificially keeping alive. I love this phrase from the source: do not carry yesterday's rain into today's sunshine. We all have rivers we've crossed in the past. Maybe it's a heated email thread with a client who's already forgotten all about it, or maybe it's lingering guilt over a failed project from 2 quarters ago. Just remember, the heaviest burdens are never the literal ones on your back. They are the thoughts, the judgments, and the resentments you refuse to drop. That river is long gone. The road ahead is yours.
So I want to leave you with this one final, provocative thought. The very next time you catch yourself spiraling over an old workplace hurt, a past failure, or some annoying thing a coworker did, just pause. Ask yourself Tanzen's question. I set this down long ago, so why am I still carrying it? Take a hard look at your professional life right now. What is the one thing from your past that you know deep down you finally need to leave at the riverbank? Think about it. Empty your hands, clear your mind. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep moving forward.